I found a cheat code for building automations for your Vapi AI voice agents. Vapi is obviously the best platform for building voice agents right now, but the tools function seems a bit complicated to me. For the transient agents, for example, you're going to have to write these tools in pure JSON, and that could be quite difficult for beginners. But then I looked at those JSON structures and I thought to myself, those are actually quite similar. All of the tools look alike. So maybe we can just automate the process of generating tools. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to show you in this step-by-step video. The Vapi and Make.com scenario that we're going to build right now is going to make the process of building automations many times easier. So my goal with every video that I make is to try to up my game and increase the value that I deliver to you guys. And I think this is my best video yet. Many people will skip this video because it is not directly on building agents. But if you want to build more complicated, more powerful agents quicker and easier, this is the video to watch. Because this system that we're going to build together will automatically generate the JSON payload for the functions of your agents, and even automatically generate a Make.com blueprint. So any of the words that I've just told you don't have to make sense to you. This is a step-by-step video, and I will help you build those tools and agents in no time. So let's get started. All right, so first off, you're gonna go to members.flereo.com. That's our member community. We're at over 600 people right now, and there's nearly 300 people in the Discord. So be sure to check that out. This is the place where we're going to get all of the blueprints and all of the information that you're going to need and see in this video. So you won't have to type in everything that I do. You can follow along step by step. And now in this place, you can download the blueprints and download the resources. So you go to members.flereo.com, make a free account, and then you can head over to this page. And then, well, this is my second to last video. And for this video, you're going to see this current thumbnail and the title that you just clicked. And then if you open that up, you can download the blueprints for this video because it's really plug and play and easy to follow along. So that's also what I try to do in my videos, make it as easy to follow as possible so you can actually comprehend it, but also still understand what you're doing instead of just copy and pasting what I'm showing you. So go over there and download the resources and the blueprints on that page to start with. So that's, you're going to go to resources, click that page of this video, scroll down, and then download PDF or download resources right here. I don't have it in there quite yet. I'll do that after the video, but it's quite straightforward. So you're going to go to members.flereo.com and get that resources. And while you're there, I would encourage you to quickly go through that portal because we have our Discord community with nearly 300 people on there. I see that 36 members are actually online right now. And if you run into any problems or issues that in your build, you can go in there. I will reply to you, or any of the other guys will reply to you and help you build those systems and fix those errors that you're running into. Also, I'm going to launch a podcast. It's the 10x 10% podcast. I'm building a list of people in the members community that want to hop on that podcast. I thought, hey, I have this growing community of around 600 people. How can I really engage with them? And I thought the podcast would be the best way to do it, having actual members as guests. That would be awesome. So I'm building up a list right now. There's also already some people on that list. If you're interested in that podcast, the 10x 10% podcast, which means 10x your results with 10% of the efforts, because that's what we do as automation agencies. We try to increase results while decreasing the amount of effort required to get those results. So that's how I got that name, 10x 10% podcast. So if you're interested in that, anyone can sign up with this form, and I'll plan you in and actually get back to you in November when I've built out that list. So I encourage you to look at that and just scroll through the member platform. For now, let's continue with the video and actually build this tool. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to Vapi AI. Well, most of you guys are probably already familiar with this. If you're not, go to vapi.ai, make an account, log in. You get $10 for free. So $10 of free calling, and after that you're gonna have to pay. But for this video you already have to add your credit card because you're going to need a phone number. Now there's a way where you can import your Twilio phone number and your Phonage phone number. It's a little bit more complicated. I would encourage you to add your credentials, and then you can just buy a phone number from Vapi. You're going to click buy number. It's going to be $2 per number. Well, in this case, we're just going to do a random number. They only support US and Canadian numbers right now. So if you want, and I'm in the Netherlands, so it still doesn't matter for me for this video because I'm going to use the US number. So even if you're not in the US, you can do that. But if you're European and you want to use a European phone number, you can still do that, but you'll have to buy that on Twilio and then import that into your account. Gonna probably make a video about that in the future, but there's resources for that. For now, we're just going to use a US number, so I'm going to buy that right now. It's $2 per number per month. I'm going to use the area code 415. I'm not even quite sure if any of you guys know what 415, what region that is. Let me know in the comments. I'll actually be curious to know that. So now we have a phone number, and this is actually almost everything that we're going to do in the Vapi space. We're not going to build our assistant in the dashboard. We're actually going to build a transient assistant, and I'll show you what that is and how that works in a minute. So the second thing you're going to have to set up is your make.com account. Go to make.com, make an account, and you'll be in this environment right here. We're not going to surpass the 2 scenario limit, so that means you can just build this scenario with a free account. You will not have to upgrade to a bigger account. The only reason you would upgrade in make.com and get a paid account is if you, either run out of your operations, so the number of runs of your automations, or if you have multiple scenarios turned on at the same time. In this case, we're just going to use 2, so that means you will be able to do this with a free account. So go to make.com, make an account, and you'll see something like this. You're going to click scenarios. So this is a test account, not our official account, of course. So that's why everything here is empty. If you have a new account, this is what you're going to see. Going to click create new scenario. And in the resources that I just showed you in members.flereo.com, you're going to get a few files. The quick transient assistant file. I'm going to quickly have to rename this. Generate tools JSON. So the generate tools JSON file, and so these are the files you're actually going to see. Is the form that you're going to use to generate that tool. Generate tools JSON and quick transient assistant. So I'll quickly show you guys what we're actually doing before setting it up, so that you actually know, hey, what video am I watching? What is this going to look like? This is exactly what we're going to build right now. So when you're in Vapi, you have to either go to tools, generate a new tool, and do it this way, or you're going to have to go here and then click here, go to the API documentation, and the tools are the automations that attach to your agent. So if you have an agent set up without tools, it can only pick up the phone and talk to whoever is calling and give some answers, and you have to give it context before it obviously knows something about your business, such that it can answer questions correctly. But if you don't give it tools, it will not be able to interact with other systems. For example, it's not going to be able to interact with make.com, not with HubSpot, not with your Outlook, your Gmail, not with your Google Meet account, not with your calendar, none of that. If you don't give it tools, it's not going to be able to interact with external systems. So that's why you need tools. And the reason why we're building this very specific system is to automate that process of building tools, because it can be quite complicated for the beginners, and also it can be quite repetitive for the more advanced guys who already know how this structure looks. But still, you have to generate it or build it for every single client or every single system that you're building. So we're going to automate that. Currently, if you don't have this system, you're going to do it one or two ways, either through the dashboard, building a tool and then getting that tool through the API, or building it directly in the API, which means you're going to go to docs.vapi.ai, go into the API reference, and you would have to build it right here. So you would click create tool, go through all of these questions that are also not that easy to understand if you're not familiar with them. And it's also very kind of difficult to follow, and also it's difficult to see what is and what is not required in order to build a tool. So that's why we built this one. As you can see, this entire form is much more straightforward. It's much easier to follow. It's create a new tool and configure call forwarding. So it's very obvious questions. Where will the agent send information to and get information from? That's your general, that's your webhook. So your webhook receives information in make.com. Tool set configuration, what's the name of your tools? How many tools do you want to give your agent? So every action is a tool. For example, if you want your agent to be able to leave a note for the team, that's a tool. It's going to send information to your webhook. That's going to put that into an email and then send to your team internally such that it can leave a note. So that's one tool. But you can also give it two tools, which means that it can both leave a message, but also set a meeting via Google Meet, for example. In that case, you're going to select two tools. The first one is going to be leave a note, and the second one is going to be set a meeting. And this system that we're building right now even has a call forwarding configuration. So you can set tools and set call forwarding configurations all in a matter of minutes. And it's going to work really well. It's even going to auto-generate the make.com blueprint in order to execute those tools. So it's going to be really powerful. So then you have an idea of what we're building right now. So that's the form file that you're going to that we'll get back on right now. Just wanted to quickly show you guys this, but we're not working with this yet. Just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. So getting back to where we were, you went into Vapi. So this is everything you must have done and followed along up till now. You logged into Vapi, you bought a phone number, you went into make.com, you made a free account, and then you started a new scenario. Now we're going to build those scenarios. Now in other videos I made, I actually showed you how to build these things step by step. Those are going to be hour-long videos, and those were actually, that's not what we're going to do in this specific video. I'm just going to upload the same blueprints that you guys are going to upload. And then I'm going to explain to you guys how those scenarios actually work, such that it's not just a plug and play. You actually understand what we're building right now. So I'm going to import that blueprint. Let's see. I'm going to choose a file. Quickly have to do this off screen, such that you don't have all of my files in your screen, because obviously I also have clients and clients files. So I'm quickly going to do this off screen, but you're going to go to, you're going to find the files that you downloaded from the members.vreo.com resource hub, and then you're going to click the generate tools JSON. All right, and once you do that, this is what you're going to see in your screen. It's just a bunch of ChatGPT modules put behind each other with very specific prompting and very specific documentation inside of it, such that it can predictably generate this JSON and the make.com blueprint. So what it's going to do, this specific scenario is going to receive all of the information from this, wait, where's the form? I lost the form. Ah, here it is. So this form, the form HTML file that you see right here, that you can just drag into your browser to open. And also you can add that to your website, of course. So just extract the HTML from that and get that into your website. But this is the form that you're going to use to generate those tools. And this is the webhook that you're going to put inside of that code. So what we're going to do right now is actually go here. So you're going to go to the file, and then you're going to click edit with text file, and then you're going to see the actual HTML right here. And what we're going to do is generate a new webhook. Here, create a webhook, call it generate tools, for example, click save. And this is the webhook, this is the URL that your form is going to send all of its information to. So the entire tool configuration that you put into that form is going to be sent to this specific URL. You're going to click copy address to clipboard, So you're going to copy this entire URL, go to your HTML file, scroll down, and then find, let's see, scroll down completely, go up and find this specific thing. Send the data to the webhook. You can even hit Control F to find that specific sentence. And then this specific URL, you're going to remove and copy and paste your own. So this is your unique URL that you just generated. Then you click Ctrl S, or you just click save. To me it's in Dutch, but it will be the same for you. Just save that file, hit X, hit OK right here, click save. Oh, we still have to connect our OpenAI account. Yeah, so we'll quickly connect to OpenAI. I'll show you guys how to do that. Many of you guys already have an OpenAI account, but if you don't, I'll quickly show you how to do that. Right, perfect. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to, let's see, OpenAI API. So that's platform.openai.api, or .com, I mean. So platform.openai.com. You're going to sign up if you don't have an account yet. If you do, you're going to log in. Many of you guys already have an account right here. In this case, I'm going to log into my own account. And let's see. Let's quickly see if we're going to log into some sensitive account or not. All right. Guess not. Perfect. Here. All right, so I'm quickly generating new projects such that there's no sensitive information in there. So here we are. So this is what you're going to see, something like this. You're either in the playground or dashboard, or it doesn't really matter. Where you are, you're going to click dashboard. You're going to go here. I'm going to go to API keys and then generate a new API key. So in this case, I'm just going to call it YouTube. You can call this anything you want. It's just for your own reference. Create a secret key. And then that's going to be my secret key. Now, of course, I'm going to hide that one in editing. If I haven't, then remind me in the comments. But you should never share your API key or your key with anyone, because that way they can use your account and make you pay for it, basically. So that specific key you're going to paste in there. And then you can actually forget about the organization ID. It should already automatically connect with your organization. So click save. Just creating connection, and then you're connected. And then it's going to be able to talk to your OpenAI account. And of course, it's important to note that with every generation you do, with every call that you make to ChatGPT or OpenAI, there are charges involved with that. Well, in most cases, it's just going to be pennies. So you shouldn't be too worried about that. But if you're doing this at scale, then the charges might be higher. But then in that case, if you're doing this at scale and you're worried about the charges, then I'm curious at what scale you're doing this and in what way. So you're going to quickly have to do this, select that account for all of the ChatGPT modules. It's actually something you could also do beforehand, so that it's easier to connect. But in this case, let's just do it for all of them. So all of the modules are going to be, and this is a module, by the way. It's a way to connect to a specific platform. So we're going to do this for all of them, and this is just an internal module, so you don't have to edit this one, and then you have everything set up. And if you do have everything set up, that means you can just click save right here, and if you don't get an error message, everything is set up. If you do get an error message, actually read it, and then you will know what is wrong. We can turn this on right here. So turning this on, and this webhook is of course now connected to our form right here. So we edited this form. If you haven't done that, do that. You're going to click right mouse and then edit with text or txt file, find that specific URL and change it into your own webhook. And what we're going to do is drag that form over here. remove this one. Okay, this is the member platform, remove this one, and this is our new form. And then this specific webhook URL is the URL you're going to send your information and data to. Before we get into this, I'm quickly going to show you how to build a transient agent, because that way I can actually show you where to put that JSON. So we're going to go back out of this place right here. Going to go back again. Create a new scenario. And then we're going to upload the second blueprint, which is right here. So I'm going to click import, import blueprint. Quickly have to do this off screen again. Import the blueprint. And then this time you're going to import the quick transient assistant. So what a transient assistant basically is, I can show you guys that right now. So you could build an assistant in two ways. Again, the same as tools. You could do it in the dashboard, or you could do it with JSON. So if you do it in the dashboard, it's going to say all of these things, but it's much less flexible. You can't automate it. You can't dynamically change it every time you want to. Every time you want to change your agent, you're going to have to log in to the dashboard. So that's why we use transient agents, which just means that instead of using an agent or an assistant configuration that is already inside their system, so that you've built right here, you will configure it yourself outside of their system. And then Vapi is going to ask for that configuration every time a call comes in. So it's going to send a request for that configuration to your own server, and then you're going to tell them what that configuration is, and you write that configuration in JSON. So this is the JSON. What JSON looks like. This is the transient agent, and as you can see, this might seem complicated, but what transient or what JSON actually means is these are all keys. So tools or properties, tools, model, name, assistant is just a way of communicating between platforms and sending information in a way that a computer or a system would understand. So what you're doing with JSON is basically every time Vapi asks for a configuration, you're just sending them information about what that configuration actually looks like. And that's what this is right here. So you're telling them in the voice configuration, this is the model, this is the voice ID, this is the provider, this is the stability, this is the similarity boost, and then you've got that down. And then with the transcriber configuration, it's going to be model, language, provider. So that's basically what JSON is. And as you can see, we added make.com variables inside of this JSON, which means that we can dynamically change those variables outside of that JSON. So if we wanted to change the first message in Vapi, we would have to log into Vapi, go to Assistants, click on the Functions tab or the Advanced tab, and then fill in that first message. But that's no way to connect to external systems. And that's basically what Vapi is built for, is to generate or to connect to your external systems, like your CRMs, like your Google Meet, like all of these places, like Go High Level. So that's why we build transient assistants. The problem with that is that if you use transient assistants, you're going to use transient tools. So that means a tool in JSON format that you're going to give to your agent. Now the agent is oftentimes going to be the same or quite similar. The only things that really will change is the first message, last message, the prompt that you're going to give it, so the instruction of your assistant, and the functions. So every assistant is going to have different functions, of course. So, or else you could just use the same assistant twice. But once, and a function is the function, tool, automation, it's all the same thing. It's basically allowing your agent to talk to external systems. For example, setting a meeting is a function or a tool or an automation. So any of these three words. So if your agent has the ability to set meetings, and that's a function configuration that you've built, added to your agent, and that's what you're going to put right here. But generating that JSON is actually quite painful. So if you're a beginner, it's difficult, and if you're advanced, it's just a burden. So that's what we're automating right now. So as you can see, this is where the JSON for the function should be, but there's a make.com variable here, because as you can see, the tools set variable module pop up right there. This is where we're going to put the functions JSON. So you won't have to edit the webhook. You only have to edit these two, and well, in this case, this one you can just this one's really straightforward. Just the assistant name, which can be anything. In this in this case, it's called subscribe to this YouTube channel for valuable content on building automations with AI and upgrading your business. The second one is prompt. So in this case, it just did be a nice person. First message, hi, thanks for calling. And the end message is thank you for calling, goodbye. So those are the most basic things you can edit in your assistant. And then this is where we're going to generate, add the tools to our system. This is also the place where Vapi is going to send you a request for the agent. So I'm quickly going to show you this entire system, how it works, so you get a feel of how does Vapi work and what is the benefit of this tool. All right, so Vapi, so they call it a server URL. You could say that server URL is the same as a webhook, but in Vapi's case, they have nice documentation on this, on why they see it differently for their system. We're going to turn this on. So again, you're going to generate a webhook for this scenario. It's going to be, you could just call this whatever you want. I called it Vapi server URL, doesn't really matter. You can copy this to clipboard, save it, and turn it on. And we're going to go back to Vapi. So this is, we didn't actually configure anything here yet, only set up the webhook. We're going to go back to Vapi, click this right here. Wait, no, click your account, so your profile, head over to settings. And then this is going to look probably the same to you as to me. And then we're going to go here. You have to wait for a bit. I don't know why exactly, but it's like they're loading something. So if you can't edit this right now, you're just going to have to wait a bit and then you can. And then put the webhook right in there. So what this is because we don't have any assistance in Vapi, we don't have any tools, we have nothing in Vapi. Vapi is completely empty to us. And even if you do have assistance, your phone number, your new phone number is not going to be connected to that assistant. So in that case, Vapi will use this server URL to request the configuration for that assistant. So that means that every time a call comes in through our new phone number, you don't have to click save right there. By the way, you can just add the URL right there and it's going to save automatically. But with this new phone number, if someone's going to call that phone number and Vapi doesn't have an assistant configuration to give that phone number, like right here, where you can select an assistant, what it's going to do is request that assistant through your server URL. So that request is going to come in right here. In these places, we're going to collect the things that we need to add to the transient assistant. And this is the configuration that Vapi is going to receive in order to pick up the call. So this is actually what the agent looks like behind the scenes in Vapi. So then you understand what the transient assistant basically means. So this one is already set up. The only thing we need right now is to actually generate the tool. So basically everything is already set up. We have everything we need in order to automate generating tools and to show that this thing works and that it really takes some pain off your back. So we're going to go in here, tools JSON generator. I'm going to close this tab and I'll show you guys how this thing works. So quick rundown. How does it work? We are going to describe our tool. So what should our agent be able to do in this form? That's what we're going to do in a minute. After we did that configuration, it's going to send that information right here. It's going to run through all of these ChatGPT modules. And what they do is this one generates the tools JSON. So that's the JSON that we're going to put right here. And this one is going to generate a make.com blueprint, which is going to make this process much easier. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like and why that is so valuable in a minute. So first, let's try it out. We're going to click Save. We're going to click Run Once. I'm going to go here, and then we're going to configure our tools. Oh, wait, by the way, there's one quick step that we have to go through first. We're going to have to give it the webhook of our blueprint. So we're going to click Create New Scenario. So you're going to automatically generate a blueprint, but in this case, we also have to give the webhook of that blueprint beforehand. So all you have to do is just create a new scenario, create a webhook, and this is the actual tool or automation. Click Save, copy to address or copy to clipboard, and then you don't have to do anything right here. Fill that in right there, and then you already have that set up. Next step is toolset configuration. So there's two things that you're configuring right here. It's the toolset, which are the automations that connect to your systems, like your Google Meet, your calendar, your Outlook, your Go High Level, your HubSpot, your Salesforce. Doesn't really matter. Anything is any connection to external systems is the toolset configuration. And the second one is call forwarding configuration, which is, for example, someone calls your agent and the person gets upset, gets angry. Then this is the call forwarding configuration, which means that you can configure it to automatically transfer to a human if the person gets upset and wants to talk to a human, for example. So that's what we're going to set up right here. And also, if you're configuring the calls, you can select the type of call transfer, for example, a blind warm or a warm transfer with a message. So the blind one is just connecting it through, and a warm transfer is actually telling the next agent what was actually discussed, such that they know how to pick up the conversation and what they're getting into. So for now, we're going to create a tool, which is leave a note. We're going to use a very quick one. We're just going to use a single tool, leave a note. How many tools? In this case, we're going to use one, but if you also want to add a set meeting tool, well, actually, let's do both of them. Just for the purpose of this video, let's do both of them. Set meeting. So this can be anything, tool set name, you can name it anything you want. In this case, I'm just going to call it leave a note and set a meeting. Tool name, this specific one is going to be leave a note. Does the tool get info or send info? In this case, it sends information to the server or to the automation. So we're going to say send info. You could do this all in your own words. It's going to understand what you're saying because it's running through a GPT module, of course. When is the tool used in conversation? When the caller wants to leave a note. Which information from the call is sent through the tool? The name of the caller and their message. It also always automatically sends the number that the person is calling with, such that you always know their number, so you don't have to add that in right here. So just the name of the caller and their message is enough. You will already have that number because, of course, they're calling with that number, so you know what that is. Does the agent have to wait for a reply from the system, or can it continue after sending? In this case, we're just going to say continue after sending. Now, if you want the agent to wait for confirmation from the server that it was actually sent, so like a success message, you can change this, but in this case, we're just going to assume that everything worked correctly. So tool name, the second one is set a meeting. Does the tool get info or send info? In this case, it sends information to the server. When is the tool? So getting info is, for example, search my calendar, and then you're going to request to get something from the server, which is your available time slots. But in this case, we're going to set a meeting. So we're going to say, when is this tool used in conversation? When the caller agreed to a meeting and a specific time slot. So they already agreed to a certain time slot and they agreed to hop into a meeting. That's when it's called used. Which information from the call is sent through the tool? Well, in this case, caller name, subject of meeting. What else? email address, of course, and time slot. Start time of meeting, actually. Does the agent have to wait for a reply of the system? No. It can continue after sending. There we go. Call configuration, enter a configuration name. This case, transfer to receptionist. How many destinations? In this case, we're just going to use one. The phone number is going to be Vlireo's official phone number. I'm going to have to quickly look that up because we changed it recently. So Vlireo, that's our own automation agency, as many of you guys will know. So this is going to be the phone number. Condition transfer when caller gets upset. Perfect. And message for the call and forwarding. This is what the agent's going to say out loud to the caller when it's transferring the call. In this case, it's going to be transferring now, ... And then select transfer type, blind transfer. And then we're going to click submit. And then we're going to be able to see how it works right here. So we're going to click run once, hit submit. It's processing, and now it's running through all of the modules, generating that JSON for us, and then we'll have both the JSON for the tool by the end of this, and also the JSON for the make.com blueprint. All right, so here we are. It generated the tools, as you can see. We're going to quickly go here. So this is just, this module doesn't really do anything. It just gives us a nice overview of the two things that we need. So the function JSON and the make.com blueprint JSON. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back to our file right here. Then we're going to create a new file. So it's just a txt file. And we're going to call that blueprint generator, doesn't really matter. We're going to turn this into a JSON file, which then we can upload into make.com in order to get that blueprint. So we're going to copy this entire thing right here, and then we're going to go to our txt file. So the blueprint generated. I'm going to paste that in there, and then we're going to hit save as, and then we're going to click all files, and then we're going to call this .json. So blueprint generated .json, click all files and save it in the same file, and it's going to turn it into a JSON file, which you can actually upload into your make.com. So this is the one that we're going to use right here, blueprint generated. And this one is the one we're going to add to our transient agent. So that's the top one, so not this one, but the one above it. I'm gonna copy this entire JSON that we have right here. Go back to the transient assistant, go in here, put it in there. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we added it in here. And just for the sake of this video, you can change this prompt into anything you want. This is your instruction to the agent. In this case, I'm just going to turn it into just for being able to test this this system. I'm going to change this into be a nice person. Use the leave a note tool to leave a message. In order to do this, you will need the caller's name and the message to leave. This is just quickly to try it out. So if we save that, then we're going to go in here, going to click import blueprint, going to choose file, then we're going to click that JSON, so the blueprint generated JSON that we just made, save it. And as you can see, it instantly generates that JSON. And the reason why this is so powerful is because, as you can see, all of the different variables that this tool would ever use are going to be in here. So with every step that you make right now, for example, you're going to add a Google Meet. Well, it's not connected in this system, so let's just use tools, set multiple variables. So the great thing about this is you don't even have to run this system at all in order to work with these tools. Set multiple variables. So in this case, So here are all of the tools, all of the variables that you're going to need, going to build with in your entire automation before even running the system. It's like an instant set multiple variable tools. This is all of the things that your agent is going to generate. And the greatest thing about this is this Giga agent, that a video that I've made where all of the tools are in the same space, the same place. You're going to be able to filter all of those tools very easily by just adding a router. So you can put all of your tools in the same scenario. So each branch is going to be a tool, and all tools are going to come in through the same webhook. And you can filter those branches by these variables. So in this case, leave a note, color name. If that's equal to empty, so it's not equal to anything, or better yet, if you put equal to, okay, so if you add the leave a note color name variable right here, and it's not equal to emptiness, so an empty array, that means that the tool is a leave a note tool, and then you can call this the leave a note branch, and everything you're going to build in here is going to be leave a note. And then everything you're going to be building in here is going to be set a meeting. So in this case, we're going to choose the set meeting color name. And if that one is not equal to empty, so if it's not empty, then we know that the tool has to be set meeting. So we're going to call this set meeting. And then all of the set meeting automations and the entire automation you're going to build right here. And you don't have to worry about these empty variables, because as you can see, if you've never run the automation once, then these are going to be empty, so it just has to assume that it will work. But since we generated JSON dynamically and the prompts are really good, you can know for sure that all of these variables actually work with your agent, and that you can just plug and play this and build your automation instantly. So in this case, we're going to use tools automation because that's the webhook that we created. So you're going to click the one that you created before building this thing, and you don't have to do anything with that. We're going to click save, we're going to click run, and then we can actually test this out. So I'm going to click set leave a note, and then test, and we'll call that success. I'm going to copy that, and I can actually show you guys that this works and that you can work with it. So yeah, so let's go. This is our test. So of course you would build your leave a note automation right here, which means that you would attach it to an Outlook or a Gmail module, and then paste all of the variables in there. In this case, I'm not going to show you that because it's one, very easy, and two, you can build any type of tool. So if so this is just to show you how the tool generator works, and also you can watch any of my other videos in order to build those tools like set a meeting and leave a note. So we're going to run this once in order to test it, and we're going to go here, run this one. So this is the one that receives the request from Vapi, and this tools generator, we don't actually need this one anymore because we've already built the tool. So this one is not going to be called. The only thing we're going to do is call our phone number, and it should pick up, and if the assistant picks up, then that means that the agent works. So the tool already, just by picking up the call, you know that your tool JSON is actually correct and it works, because if it doesn't, then it's going to break the assistant. You're not even going to be able to call it. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so as some of you guys might already know, I record my videos with my phone, and well, in this case, I'm going to show you guys how this system and tool generator works. So in order to do that, I'm going to actually have to call our phone number, receive that call, and show you guys the generation. So yeah, in order to call, I need my phone, so that's why you see my webcam right here, right now. I hope you guys don't mind. So I'm going to call this number, and then Vapi is going to request a configuration for an assistant before it picks up. So that's what it's going to get right here. It's going to send a request and get the answer right here. And then with our tool that we got from the tools generator, This make.com blueprint is going to receive the leave a note tool when I ask it to leave a note, and then generate the, leave a note is going to give a success message right here. So if we get a success message right here, we know that the tool has worked. So yeah, let's try this out.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Hi, could you leave a message for me?
I can leave a message for you. Could you please provide me with your name and the message you'd like me to leave?
My name is John Doe, and I would like you to ask the team to call me back.
Your note has been successfully saved.
Well, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, perfect. So it generated the result. As you can see, it's a success. And what this basically means is that with the tools generator, you can instantly get the tools JSON that you don't have to configure yourself, and also have a working make.com blueprint in order to build upon. So as you can see, all of the leave a note things are set up. Well, caller name has the same variable, but that doesn't really matter because it's going to go to this to the right branch. Or actually, I do note right here that, as you can see, because caller name and caller name is the same with set meeting and leave a note, what you would actually have to do is find one that doesn't count for either of them. And in this case, it's going to be message. So we're going to change this into not caller name, but message. Let's see. Or meeting subject. That's one that's completely unique for the set meeting. So if you change it into that one, it's going to work quite perfectly. But as you can see, yeah, we got a success message. It can actually send this information to our webhook, and then we can build on it instantly. So that's a great way to set this up. You can have an instant transient assistant and instantly generate those tool JSONs. It's going to save you a lot of time. So you set this up one time, and then for your entire journey with building voice agents, you're going to use that every time you build an agent or iterate on your existing agent. All right, so just noticed that my webcam was right in your face the whole time. So just to quickly go over it, Vapi made a call right here, and we received the configuration. And then this one, you're going to this module right here. So the leave a note name gets the same payload as or response as the set meeting name. So you're going to change this into meeting subject, such that this one and this one are both unique. But as you can see, it works quite well. All the leave a note messages are filled in, and call number is always added. So you can always add that everywhere because, of course, you have that number of your caller. So if you think this video was interesting, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Also, go over to members.flereo.com. The community is growing rapidly. Let's quickly see the numbers. So new people join the community every day. We're at 340 new users just last month, and especially the Discord community is really powerful because these guys are really technical and do want to help you with your agents if you're getting stuck at an error in any step of the way. So be sure to get the resources in the resources hub. Have a quick look at the partner portal right there. So there's people in our community that actually display their profiles so that you can people can find you, and you can find other people to work with. And that's grown quite rapidly, and people are actually being reached out to in order to help on projects, deliver on projects. And I also reach out to people on here to work together on our clients and fulfill those needs. And above all, of course, I'm building this list in the 10x 10% podcast. If you're interested in that, do sign up to that right there. With the 10x 10% podcast, it's just something where we're going to talk AI and tech and business with people in the community. I think I'm really excited about that. That list is growing, and I think it's fun to see how excited some people are about this. So for sure, thank you very much for watching, and good luck to you.